Hello there, what are you expecting today? Because whatever you expect, that's exactly what you're going to receive. Today I want to talk to you about how to stay persistent in your imaginal act. When we look at faith, we want to look at faith through the eyes of repetition. To be faithful. If a man or a woman comes back to you over and over and over again, you say, oh, they're faithful to me. You might take that for granted. When you do these imaginal acts, or you have these imaginal interactions and inner conversations between you and money, between you and the universe, between you and your SP or someone else, you want to be faithful. You want to come back home over and over and over again. So to be faithful is to come back to the inner self over and over and over again, to come back to this imaginal act, to come back to this inner conversation over and over again. So you cannot be faithful, you cannot commit to being faithful to something that you do not love. So I want to talk to you about love, for example. Love is self-worth, and self-worth is contained within the quality of thoughts that you think. So if you're not faithful to the image, perhaps you are not building an ideal image or the ideal circumstance that you want to experience. And so sometimes when we create these imaginal acts, we are going for what it is we think we can get. We are not going for what it is we truly, truly want. And so if we're not captivated by, the ideal image, or if we're not captivated by this imaginal act that we're creating, that could be the reason. That could be the problem why you don't come back to it over and over again, because it's not your ideal. Yeah, you want this, but you know that you can have more. Yeah, you want to have $3,000 more a month, but wouldn't it be nice if you had $10,000 extra a month? Because you think about it and you say, well, you know, if I had extra $10,000, I could actually pay this in full, or I would be able to do something I haven't done in a long time. So you can troubleshoot your faithfulness by looking at, okay, let me see. Am I not in love with the ideal? Am I not in love with my SP? Am I not in love with the amount of money? Am I not in love with this car? And if you're not, then it's not a true desire. And if it's not a true desire, then of course you can change it. I remember sharing with you guys, and I said that when I manifested my first place that I lived in, and I lived in there for a little bit, not very long, but the way I manifested it was I came into the awareness of creating imaginal acts, and one evening I went to bed and I said, okay, so where would I start with my house? Given that I worked in interior design, I knew what I wanted, and I wanted to have a big island with Carrara marble on it. And as I began to enter into my imaginal act, I've assumed that I was in this kitchen with two big windows, and right in front of it there was this big island. Now I didn't give the size or the I couldn't see the length necessarily of the island, but I knew it was the biggest island that I've ever seen. And I began to flip pictures in my mind as if in a book. And the first thing was, of course, Carrara marble. But I immediately allowed a thought, an outside circumstance to step within the middle of this imaginal act. It was an intruder. It was an intrusive thought. And so what I have done was to say, you know, no, I cannot afford that. How can I afford what I truly, truly like? So I skipped the picture. I moved on to a beige, gray island. I go, well, that's ordinary. Every home has that. I moved on to a black, and I said, oh, if I would have white cabinets with a black countertop and thick 3-inch countertop, I said, no, it's too drastic of a color. It's too cold to walk in the kitchen like that. I said, no. So I was left with this gray, spotted, all over the place gray. That's all I could say. That's all I could become aware of in my imagination. And I said, well, I guess that's it. And when I've admitted and I've agreed with what I wanted, I immediately put my hands on it and I began to rub it. It was like an Aladdin lamp, like really just began to look and see my hand and the countertop. And I fell asleep. It was 2 weeks later that I met my partner, and my partner had exactly what I have seen. This big kitchen with this big 2 windows and a big island. And I think 6-7 months in this place, I took a picture as I was sitting down, and I could see this island, the color of it, and I go, oh my goodness, I've seen this somewhere. And I go, oh my God, these are the windows. So it wasn't an immediate realization. My eyes were not open to what I manifested until like 6-7 months later. But what I'm saying is that if you go for what you think you can get, you're going to get it, but you're not going to be happy. Now, does an island make a big difference? Obviously not. But here's the thing. Think of it this way. What if I would have manifested? What if I would have picked up a Carrara marble and the partner that came with it would have been someone else? I began to think about that and I said, what if I would have chosen to have Carrara marble and really go for what it is I wanted? I would have either had my own place that I manifest. What if it was the partner that came with it, which is not something I have put together, by the way. It just happened to be. I would have been with someone else. So can one shift in choosing of a color, choosing of a trait, choosing of a number, can shift the whole universe? Yeah. Could shift it so bad from one person to another. So one of our shifts that we make and one decision can change the whole universe. It can change your whole world. And so when we decide in step number 1 what it is we want to manifest, understand that that will change the course of your life. So creation manifestation is not something that you're thinking of, or manifesting a free cup of coffee, or manifesting the cat, scratching the board outside. You are shifting your whole world. Even that alone will change your whole world, right? You drink coffee, you'll be awake for 6 hours in a day. So that changes your whole world. So what you manifest, I want you to think about how would you live life once you had that? Well, of course, you don't realize that, maybe the marble countertop comes with a person. The reason that happened for me, I believe it's because a couple of weeks earlier, I have written down the qualities of partner that I wanted, and I did not manifest the partner yet. So it happened that the universe said, okay, here's the partner, and here's the Carrara marble. here's the gray granite countertop island. So however the universe decided to put the two together, it wasn't something that I've decided. These were two separate incidents. Does this mean that if you think about different things, they're all going to come together? I don't know. That I have not seen yet. But what I know is that if you don't like the image that you're creating and you're not in love with it, you'll manifest it. But this is when you get burnt out or you misuse your power, because you're not going for what it is you want. You're going for what you think you can get, and you're going to get it. But here's another thing. You're not going to hold on to it. You see, when I manifested this partner, we ended up breaking up. Now I'm going to be vulnerable and authentic with you. Now, it wasn't because of the island. It was obviously, that's not what it was. There were things within me, blockages within me, that I didn't feel worthy of being with this person. And so I have rejected them. And when you don't feel worthy, what you're saying is, I'm not worthy of changing my opinion about myself. I'm not going to put in the effort of changing my own self-conception. And so I did not know how to put in the effort of changing my self-concept of, yeah, I am worthy of living here. I am worthy of the multi-millions I manifested. I am worthy of this relationship. I am worthy of you. And so I put the partner on a pedestal because of their finances. You see, money can trip us up. We can have it, we can manifest it, and then we can reject it. And we understand, and what I teach is that your worth does not come from money. Your worth comes from the image. So I should have been happy with the images that I've created, with the partner that I've created, with the countertop and island that I've manifested. But I needed to be more specific. You can never go beyond what your mental image allows you. Never. You can never go beyond that. So if you right now, for example, you have experienced a relationship with an SP up to a certain point, you must imagine yourself out of it, in the sense that you want more than what you've had. Just manifesting them back, you're going to get them. But if you have not put in the effort to see beyond that, they're going to come back and you might lose them. Because while you're in the middle of the relationship, you say, well, now I kind of want to be married. So why not manifest marriage now? Why not manifest the wedding now? Why not manifest the ideal now? You see, we're manifesting pictures. We are not making things possible. The law makes things possible. We just got to give the law the image. The law of the universe just needs the image, needs something to work with. And so we are the ones that allow ourselves to imagine as big or as little. But the law of relativity comes in and says, listen, I didn't ask you if you have money. All I said is give me the image. I'll take care of the money. I'll take care of the resources. I'll take care of how I put things together. That is none of your business. So I teach my clients that we as image creators, self-image, the self creates the image. Our only job is to build the image and speak in alignment or appropriate the correct wording or script to the image, making sure you don't deviate from it, but you can add to it. But don't go back and forth, and don't short circuit yourself or shortcut yourself because you think I have no money and I'm not worthy. This is when the law of relativity helps you to look at yourself and say, no, I am worthy. I'm worthy of everything that I imagine. In fact, your worth is contained within the quality of the image. So the more detail we add to the image in our desire, the more worthy we are. Because when we add, I want this and I want this and I would like this, and you'd be rubbed like this and given this chocolate while I'm being rubbed, my shoulders are rubbed and then my feet are tickled, whatever it is. If your heart wants it, you are worthy of it. Just allow the heart to come out. So this is how you will manifest, but your worth is contained within the quality of those images that you think, and nothing is outside of your reach. The only thing that's outside of you is the thoughts and images that you're not allowing yourself to think and imagine. So give yourself and allow yourself to imagine better than the best, because the law says, listen, I'm not here to judge you. The law of your state doesn't judge you. Or it doesn't say, well, because you're thinner or older or younger or skinnier, this law does not apply to you. The law applies to everyone. It doesn't matter color or race, height or age, or country or city. The law applies to everyone. And so this law says, listen, I don't care what image you give to me. To the law of gravity, there's nothing big or small. You drop off everything you want and I'll grab onto it. There's nothing big or small that I cannot do. And so that's what the laws are telling us, that there's nothing big or small. There's no such thing, there's too much money or little money, bigger car, smaller car, pricier car or lesser car. You just tell me what you want, you know, and that's what we need to focus on. So if we don't like what we've manifested so far, it's because we're not going for what it is we want. And so troubleshoot yourself and say, you know what, is it worth me spending this energy and time on manifesting a small thing, only as far as I think I can get? Because it takes the same amount of energy and focus to reveal or to manifest the little and the big. It takes the same amount. It just takes your focus and your allowance. And so go for better than the best so that your heart is satisfied. So when you walk into that creation, you live a life of love, peace, and joy. And ultimately, you move from that one to another manifestation and another manifestation. So remember this, the law does not separate, does not say this is big or small. The law never says that. We do. And this is where we shortcut ourselves. So troubleshoot yourself and take the law and use it. Images come to life by law, not because they like you or you don't like them. Okay? You're working with laws. You're operating by law. And understand that the law, there's either consequences or reward. If we go for what we think we can get, that's a consequence. If we go exactly for what it is we want, that's the reward. And every worker is worthy of his reward. So this work that you're putting into manifesting, make sure that you're doing the work and you're doing it correctly. And you have to believe I'm doing exactly, and I'm manifesting exactly what it is I want. And the law gives me everything that I put out. And so, yeah, I'm worthy because I'm putting in the work. And this work is not easy. In fact, it's the only price that you need to pay. And once you pay in full, once you pay your all energy and focus only on that, you're going to get it. That's the price you need to pay. Once you pay in full, on the outside it has to come. And how do you know you paid in full? There's going to come a time when you say it the last time. It's just like that woman that gives birth. The last push, the last scream, the last, I can't, okay, that's it, the baby's out. The last time you're going to affirm. And you know what? That's when the picture is being manifested. So stay persistent as a mother that is in labor. And affirm, affirm, affirm until you're actually going to see your manifestation exactly the way you've imagined it. We manifest images. We don't manifest hopeful, wishful thinking. We manifest in the nature and likeness of that image. So thank you guys for being here. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell button, and come within the program. Click the link below, and I will see you on the inside. Bye now.